Hello again, thanks for choosing us. Now, at least 6 persons arrested in connection with the suspected terrorist attack in the northeastern Upper East regions. We have more on this for you shortly, but first, we ask a simple question tonight. How do citizens contribute to intelligence gathering in the face of the threat of terrorist attack when the channel for communication is inaccessible? Well, this question has been necessitated by several complaints from some of our viewers who say they have tried reaching national security through the hotlines that were announced a few weeks ago, but have not been successful. So we tried from here, and there's the results.
So this is the second time it's not going through. I'm going to redial.
So we tried about 4 times and we did not get through to the center through the 999 that was announced. Now, earlier last week, the National Security explained that there were several prank calls that jammed the system. But security analyst Dr. Ishmael Norman says the lack of education could be a contributing factor. He spoke on the Super Morning Show.
So many people calling in, see something, say something, and they are reporting what they have seen without telling them the parameters within which they should be calling 999. You're going to be flooded. We don't have the algorithms, computer-based machine learning, machine identification of what is a threat and what is not a threat. We don't have that. Not even the cybersecurity office can do all this analysis for national security. We don't have that. So if we don't have drones that can do the eavesdropping, that can capture pictures and activities, we don't have that. So when you are talking about preparedness, it's not only about hoping that you are prepared. There has to be supported by technology. In the modern world, fighting any enemy needs technology. And I don't believe our government has been bold enough to make money available to national security, to have the equipment to be able to, for example, buy state-of-the-art powerful computers that can really do the algorithmically analyze messages that are coming to them.
Now, my colleague Kweku Asante joins me via Zoom with more details on these developing stories on national security. Kweku, let's first start with the status of the campaign that was launched by National Security. See something, say something. What do we know?
So, Ernest, we know that the campaign is still going on by the use of social media. Some ambassadors, we know of Kwame Sepakai and others, who are actively engaged in this. But we also know that there is no budget for this. And so all these that are going on, we don't necessarily know where the funding will be sourced from. But the campaign itself is going on, but there's no specific budget for the campaign that is going on, Ernest.
But what do we know about the difficulty with the lines? Is there an official explanation on this?
So the explanation we are getting, of course, from deep throat sources at the National Security Ministry is also pointing to the idea that the budget that was supposed to be funding this project is non-existent. And so just like the other part of the leg that I just informed, there's no budget for this also. It did not feature in this year's work plan of the National Security Ministry. And so although the code has been launched and some fanfare done about it, there's no budget, standing budget for it to fund how intricate it is. And you look at the Ghanaian population of 32 million. If people are calling today to this number, you need set a major budgetary line item to be able to keep this running. So there's no budget for this as we speak, and it is not clear what government is going to be able to ensure that this runs. And so the explanation we are getting from this source is that the lack of budget, the lack of financial resources may be the reason why this 999, the people are called in, there's no such response.
And again, let's make this clear. What we are getting is from our sources. This is not an official response from the national security. But Kweku, we're also learning a bit more about the situation, the terrorist threat situation in Belu. Remember that last week or so, there was an intel that actually was leaked onto social media. But we are learning that there's an update on this situation.
So the National Security Ministry have been meeting with chiefs and opinion leaders in the Upper East. They've been doing that to ensure that they are on top of the situation. But we also know that some arrests have been made over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Some arrests have been made. The National Security they made those arrests to try and ensure that they're able to protect the borders. But the specific information about the electronic communication that was sent, that was leaked, and we know that Norman and others have spoken about it. This weekend we heard from a national security analyst who said there may be moles within the national security architecture. The national security, they are telling us that they are very much on top of this situation, and it will be very easy to actually get who leaked this information to the public because the details were sent electronically, and so they are on top of the situation. They say they are investigating and will communicate to the public as and when. Ernest.
Kweku, thank you very much for bringing us those details on these stories of national security. And let's stay a while longer with national security because international relations expert Michael Kwadwo Nketiah has warned that a surge in terrorist attacks in Nigeria could increase migration to Ghana with negative economic and political implications. Speaking with Love FM's David Akweta, Mr. Nketiah warned that the possible collapse of Africa's biggest economy, that's Nigeria, has dire implications for the West African sub-region.
Currently, it appears that Nigeria has lost the fight against armed insurgents, and the country, excuse me to say, is on a very, very dangerous path, which, if not halted, could lead to the destabilization of the entire sub-region, because if there is chaos, if there is war in Nigeria, we are talking about over 200 million people moving from Nigeria to any other country in the West African sub-region. Already, economies are suffering from the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent Russia-Ukraine war, which has also led to inflation across the sub-region. And imagine Ghana with our current energy and security challenges. Imagine Ghana trying to create a new abode for about 5 to 10 or 5 million Nigerian refugees. That's going to be a very difficult toll on our economy. We need to prevent this now, else the repercussions are going to be very costly.
Well, he believes it's about time the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, activates the military wing to fight the worrying trend.
Given the interconnectedness of the West African sub-region, the porosity of our borders, how we see ourselves as a common people, insecurity in any other country is also a threat to the security of another country. What the leaders should do is that they should join forces, intelligence sharing intelligence with the security agencies in the respective member countries. Perhaps this is the time to constitute ECOMOG, the military wing of the Economic Community of West African States, so that if Nigeria, Burkina Faso, or Mali feels the burden of jihadism, of terrorism, of armed groups, and the military of Mali, Burkina Faso, or Nigeria cannot fight these groups alone, we do a pooling or a pooling of military members.
Still on security and terrorism, security analyst Adeb Sani is warning that there may be moles in Ghana's national security architecture, tipping off terrorists and hampering the country's efforts to prevent terrorist attacks. His warning follows an alert issued by the National Secretariat that there may be terrorist groups operating from the mountainous part of the Upper East region and asking the police and military to act. Now, speaking on the development, Adeb Sani said the fight against terrorism will not achieve the intended purpose if those moles are not cleared.
Absolutely gobsmacked and short of words that such a sensitive document would find its way into the public domain the very day it was authored. So what in essence this means is the whole intervention failed even before it started. Because I'm pretty sure that the bad guys might have got, wind of this information before it even reached the CDS and the IGP. For such critical information, it has to be classified. And by now, I would have thought that our information should be encrypted and it should be sent through secured service. Okay? And what we need to also do now is to investigate how come this information, which was authored just yesterday, came out into the public domain by the close of day yesterday. Okay, so what it means also is the whole project, whatever they intended to do, the whole counter-terrorism strategy they wanted to activate on the ground has been compromised because the guys would know that, hey, our security forces are coming after them. So we need to investigate. It is highly likely that there's an enemy within, okay? Because if really you are a true son of the land, you wouldn't leak such a sensitive information. And we need to go beyond the writing of letters.